Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Always exciting.
This time, we're going to be taking a look at a chapter that one of you sent to us.
Oh, excellent.
Chapter 3, Taking Responsibility, for Mark Douglas's Trading in the Zone. And they're really looking to get to the heart of this message. And to be honest, this one's got some really seriously thought-provoking stuff about how our mindset can impact our trading.
Yeah, it's fascinating how often we get caught up in the technicals, the charts, the indicators, the strategies, and we miss what I think is really the foundation, which is our mental game, and this chapter really dives into that.
Exactly, and I like how the chapter opens with this analogy of the trader as a sculptor.
Oh, interesting.
And he's not chiseling stone, but he's actually shaping his mental environment with beliefs and attitudes.
Okay.
It's like we're creating the very space where our trading decisions live.
I like that, yeah. It's about building that mental framework, that supports consistent wins and that, as the chapter argues, goes way beyond simply piling on more market knowledge.
Right.
So many traders fall into the trap of thinking, like, if I just learn one more indicator or one more strategy, but it's just not as simple as that.
Yeah, it's like believing if you just read enough cookbooks, you'll automatically become a Michelin star chef.
That's a great analogy. I love that.
There's a whole lot more that goes into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a whole lot of practice and mindset and, dealing with kitchen disasters that go into it.
Exactly.
The chapter uses the story of a novice trader who starts off on this string of wins, right? And feels amazing. He's like, I've cracked the code.
Right.
But here's the thing. He's mistaking initial luck for actual skill.
Yeah.
It's like being in the zone in sports, exhilarating but fleeting.
And very, very dangerous.
Yes.
Very dangerous. Because when those inevitable losses hit, the novice trader's not prepared.
Nope.
The chapter says their lack of risk acceptance sets them up for real pain.
Yeah.
It's like they were building their trading house on sand instead of solid ground.
And what's so insightful is how the chapter kind of links this back to our childhoods. When our expectations aren't met, especially when we're so emotionally invested, we tend to lash out.
Oh, yeah.
Blame others.
Yeah.
It's like that childhood feeling of betrayal, when things don't go our way.
So instead of analyzing what went wrong and adapting, the novice trader gets caught in this blame cycle.
Yeah.
They're looking for external reasons for their losses instead of taking ownership.
Precisely. And this is where the reality of trading being a zero-sum game comes in.
Uh-huh.
For one person to win, another has to lose. The market itself isn't out to get us. It's just this neutral playing field where our individual decisions kind of play out.
So by not taking responsibility, we're actually creating this adversarial relationship with the market. It's like we're constantly battling it, trying to force it to do what we want, instead of understanding its flow and adapting to it.
It's like trying to fit square pegs into round holes.
Yeah.
Frustrating and ultimately futile.
The chapter talks about this boom and bust cycle that traps a lot of traders.
Yeah.
They can make money, but then they lose it just as quickly. What's going on psychologically there?
It's this fascinating interplay of euphoria leading to overconfidence, leading to reckless decisions.
Right.
Or sometimes it's self-sabotage, maybe stemming from this deep-seated belief that we don't deserve to win.
Wow. So it's not just about market knowledge.
No.
But about unraveling all these unconscious beliefs and patterns that are actually driving our trading decisions.
Exactly. And that brings us to one of the most powerful concepts in this chapter, the idea that the market acts as a mirror.
Okay.
Reflecting our internal state back to us.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
So you're saying our beliefs and attitudes are literally shaping our trading reality.
Absolutely. It's not about mystical forces,
Yeah.
but about how our internal state, influences our perceptions, our risk tolerance,
Right.
Even the trades we choose to take.
So if I'm constantly blaming the market for my losses, am I essentially giving away my power to change things?
That's a great way to put it. By blaming these external forces, we're putting ourselves in the passenger seat of our own trading journey. And the chapter's message is clear. If we want to achieve consistent success, we need to grab the steering wheel and take responsibility.
This is giving me a lot to think about in terms of my own trading. It's almost like this chapter is saying, stop trying to change the market, start changing yourself.
And that change begins with this simple yet profound shift. Taking complete responsibility for our trading outcomes, both the good and the bad.
Yeah, I'm already starting to see how this could be a game changer. So how do we actually start putting this into practice?
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to understand it intellectually, but how do we make it a reality in our day-to-day trading?
That's the million-dollar question, and that's what we'll dive into next. But one thing's for sure, this shift in mindset, this taking responsibility, is the very foundation upon which consistent success is built. It really is about shifting that focus inward. Instead of saying, the market did this to me, we start asking, how did I react? What was my decision-making process?
It's almost like we become these detectives of our own minds. Analyzing our thoughts and behaviors to see what's really driving our trading actions.
Exactly. And sometimes what we find isn't pretty.
Oh, I bet.
The chapter gives this example of a trader who's, in a losing trade but just can't admit it to themselves. They hyper-focus on these tiny little price movements that go their way, completely ignoring the bigger picture.
Oh, it's like they're clinging to a life raft in the middle of the ocean, convinced they're about to be rescued, even though a storm is raging around them.
It's classic denial, fueled by, our innate desire to avoid pain.
Yeah.
But here's the catch. By blocking out the painful reality of the loss, we're also blocking our ability to learn and adapt. We miss the chance to cut our losses and potentially, reverse our position.
It's a tough lesson.
Yeah.
But the chapter is basically saying that true learning in trading isn't just about market knowledge. It's about understanding ourselves.
Yep.
Our biases, our emotional triggers, all those things that can sabotage our best laid plans.
And that requires a willingness to be honest with ourselves, even when it's uncomfortable. Think about it this way. If we have this deep-seated belief that we don't deserve to win, or we're terrified of success, those beliefs will play out in our trading no matter how much market knowledge we accumulate.
Yeah, it's almost like having a self-sabotage button wired into our trading system.
Right.
We can have the best strategy in the world, but if we keep hitting that button, we're going to blow ourselves up.
The chapter drives home this point that taking responsibility is the foundation of a winning attitude. It's recognizing that we have the power to choose our responses, to learn from our mistakes, to shape our own trading destiny.
Yeah, it's such a shift from that feeling of being a victim of the market to becoming an empowered participant.
Precisely. We can't control the market's every whim, but we can control how we perceive it, how we react to it, and ultimately how we trade within it. That's where true mastery lies.
Okay, so we've talked about this boom and bust cycle, which I think resonates with so many traders.
Yeah.
What insights does the chapter offer for breaking free from that pattern?
Well, it starts with understanding the psychological dynamics at play. Often it's about managing that euphoria that comes with winning. It's easy to get swept up in that excitement and start thinking we're invincible.
Right.
Which can lead to overconfidence and reckless trading.
Like, I can't lose.
Exactly.
Which, ironically, is often when the biggest losses occur.
Exactly. So the chapter emphasizes the importance of discipline. Sticking to your trading plan, managing your risk, not letting emotions hijack your decision-making.
Yeah.
Especially when you're on a winning streak.
Yeah, it's about having the mental fortitude to resist the temptation to chase even bigger wins, even when it feels like you've got the Midas touch.
And on the flip side, it's about understanding self-sabotage. Why do we sometimes undermine our own success? Even when we seemingly have everything going for us.
Yeah, this is such a fascinating concept. It's like there's this part of us that doesn't believe we deserve to win or is afraid of what success might bring.
And the chapter suggests that these subconscious patterns often stem from our past experiences, from, deeply ingrained beliefs about ourselves and our worthiness.
So it's not enough to have just a great trading strategy.
No.
We also need to address these internal conflicts that might be holding us back.
Absolutely. And this is where the idea of the market as a mirror comes into play again. If we're approaching the market with fear, scarcity, or a sense of unworthiness, those emotions will be reflected in our trading results.
So it's not about trying to change the market.
Right.
It's about changing ourselves. It's about shifting our internal state to one that is aligned with success.
And that shift begins with taking complete responsibility for our outcomes. It's about recognizing that we are the creators of our own trading reality.
This is such a powerful concept, but how do we move from intellectually understanding this to actually embodying it in our trading? What are some practical steps we can take?
That's a great question, and one that the chapter addresses head-on. One of the key steps is accepting risk. Not trying to eliminate it altogether, because that's impossible in trading, but truly acknowledging and embracing the inherent uncertainty of the market.
So it's not about being reckless, but about shifting our perspective from trying to avoid losses at all costs to viewing them as an inevitable part of the process.
Precisely. When we're consumed by that fear of loss, our perceptions become distorted.
Yeah.
We miss opportunities, we make impulsive decisions, and we end up sabotaging ourselves.
It's like we're so focused on not losing that we forget how to win.
That's a great way to put it. And the chapter suggests that taking responsibility helps us break free from that fear-driven mindset and approach the market with more clarity and objectivity.
It's like we're taking off those fear-tinted glasses and finally seeing the market for what it truly is.
And with that clear vision comes a greater sense of confidence and composure. We're able to make more rational decisions, navigate the market's ups and downs with more grace, and ultimately achieve more consistent results.
So it's about shifting from that reactive, fear-based state to a proactive, empowered one.
Exactly. And that's where discipline comes. And the chapter really emphasizes the importance of developing a strong sense of self-discipline, especially when we're winning.
Because that's when euphoria and overconfidence can lead us to make those impulsive decisions that wipe out our games.
Right. The chapter shares this example of a trader who gets caught up in the excitement of a winning streak, puts on a larger than usual position, convinced the market will continue to move in their favor, but then a small price movement against them sends them into a tailspin.
Like their entire reality comes crashing down because they were so attached to that outcome.
And that's why discipline is so crucial. It's about having the mental fortitude to stick to your trading plan even when your emotions are running high. It's about recognizing that you can't control the market's every move, but you can control your own behavior.
So discipline is about more than just having rules. It's about having the self-control to follow those rules, even when it's tempting to deviate.
Exactly. And the chapter makes a strong case that this kind of discipline is what separates consistently successful traders from those who experience that boom and bust cycle. It's not just about making money, it's about keeping it.
And that requires a level of emotional maturity and self-awareness that goes beyond simply understanding market dynamics.
Yeah.
It's about mastering our own minds as much as we master the markets.
That's a great way to summarize it. And this chapter provides such a powerful framework for doing it encourages us to shift our focus from blaming the market to understanding our own role in shaping our trading outcomes. It's about taking ownership, embracing the learning process, and developing a winning attitude that supports consistent success.
And in the end, that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Empowering ourselves.
Yeah.
To become the best traders we can be.
Yeah, it's like this chapter is giving us this blueprint for building that unshakable trader's mindset.
Yeah.
One that's not about avoiding losses entirely, but about handling them gracefully, learning from them, and coming back stronger.
Absolutely. And it's that resilience, that ability to bounce back from setbacks that really separates the long-term winners from everyone else.
Yeah.
It's not about never making mistakes. It's about how we respond to those mistakes.
The chapter talks about this concept of random distribution, which was a little bit mind-bending at first. Can you unpack that a little for us?
Sure. So it's this idea that in the short term, market movements are essentially random.
Okay.
There's no way to predict with certainty what's going to happen next.
Right.
So even the best trading system in the world will have winning streaks and losing streaks, and it's not always about the system itself, but simply the nature of randomness. So it's not about trying to find this perfect foolproof system that guarantees wins, but about understanding that losses are statistically inevitable.
Precisely. And this is where taking responsibility becomes so crucial.
Right.
When we accept that losses are part of the game, we stop attaching so much emotional weight to each individual trade.
Right.
We can approach our wins and losses with more objectivity, learn from both, and continuously refine our approach.
It's like we're shifting from this emotional roller coaster of euphoria and despair to a more balanced, even-keeled state of mind.
Exactly. And that emotional stability is so important for making sound trading decisions.
Right.
When we're not constantly reacting to every little price fluctuation, we can see the bigger picture, identify opportunities, and manage our risk more effectively.
It's like we're finally able to separate our emotions from our trading decisions and approach the market with a clearer, more rational mindset.
And that's where true confidence comes from, not from some delusional belief that we can predict the market's every move, but from the understanding that we have a system, we're managing our risks.
Right.
And we're continuously learning and improving.
This chapter has been such a powerful reminder that trading success isn't just about mastering the markets, it's about mastering ourselves.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's about cultivating that inner strength, that resilience, that unwavering belief in our ability to navigate, the challenges of the market and come out on top.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive into taking responsibility, what's the one key message you want our listeners to walk away with?
If there's one thing to remember, it's the power to change your trading results lies within you.
Yeah.
It's not about finding some magic formula or blaming the market for your setbacks.
Right.
It's about taking complete ownership of your actions, your decisions, and your mindset.
It's about recognizing that we are not victims of the market, but active participants with the ability to shape our own trading destiny.
Exactly. And that's a pretty empowering realization, isn't it?
It really is. So, to our listener out there, as you continue on your trading journey, remember that the key to unlocking consistent success lies within you. Embrace responsibility, cultivate a winning attitude, and never stop learning.
And remember, the market is always there ready to reflect back the beliefs and attitudes that you bring to it. So choose wisely.
That's a really powerful note to end on. We hope this deep dive has provided you with some valuable insights and a renewed sense of purpose as you navigate this exciting and often challenging world of trading. Until next time, keep diving deep.